Welcome back, everybody, to Niners Now. And of course, thank you to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. You can scan the QR code on screen right now if you are interested in having a lot of fun watching the games with Underdog. Of course, I am your host, Brady Grustas, at GrustasBrady on X. You can follow me there. And I'm sad to say it's over. The 49ers season ends in the divisional round after losing to the hated Seattle Seahawks 41-6. We're going to do a little season overview in this video and talk about why this game ended the way it did. And then stick around until later in the show when we go over the grades, offense, defense, and special teams from this game. But before we begin, go ahead and subscribe down below. The support has been really great recently. Leave a like, leave a comment. Once again, huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the video. And let's get into it. So folks, I think my main takeaways was that it all just kind of collapsed. And you could tell by watching the game. But the three things that really stood out to me the most, right? Missed tackles, penalties, and injuries. You can overcome one of those things. You can overcome two of those things. The Niners have done that multiple times this season. But against one of the best teams in the NFL, you cannot overcome all three of them. Marquis Siegel misses an open field tackle on Kenneth Walker late in the first half. Touchdown. Jordan Elliott, holding penalty on third down, gives Seattle a first down on that very same drive, I believe, the one that ended in that Kenneth Walker touchdown. And the Niners, they lost not only Christian McCaffrey for part of this game, but Jake Tonjes and Alfred Collins. It's just, you just can't overcome all three of those things, unfortunately. And you know what? You got to give them credit. Seattle was just better, just a better football team across the board. And sure, you can explain it away with injuries and such, but that's not the only reason they were the better team. There was no position group or individual matchup where the 49ers had an advantage. This was a true butt whooping of the highest order. One of the most embarrassing games of Kyle Shanahan's tenure with the 49ers, given who the opponent was and when this game happened. Probably the worst game of his 49ers career. That said, though, this season, still a success. The Niners, we weren't even supposed to be here. You've got to remember that. Even before all the injuries happened, this team was supposed to be in a reset year. I was one of the people that was relatively high on the 49ers coming into the season. I felt like I was higher than most. I had them 11-6 and losing in the wild card round, right? They went 12-5, won the wild card round, had a chance at the 1 seed, by the way, and unfortunately couldn't get it done in the divisional. Right, they stole a playoff win. They got some relevant playoff snaps for lots of young players on this team. It's a successful year, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm excited to see how they build on it next year. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the grades. All right, we'll talk about special teams first. F for special teams. In the biggest moment, they folded instantly. Seattle has the best special teams in the league. That's undebatable, but the 49ers were supposed to have the second best, and they got whooped. They've been trending down the past few weeks, the special teams unit has, and the dam broke against Rashid Shaheed. Opening kickoff touchdown, absolutely inexcusable in any game, much less a game of this magnitude. The kickoff coverage was awful all game long. The Niners return game had absolutely nothing to offer. Sky Moore has really struggled as of late. Brian Robinson gave you one good return this season. He's a replacement level returner. Seahawks were absolutely dominant. However, when I talk about all these grades, right, special teams, offense, defense, it's going to be a lot of negative. So I want to bring a little positivity, right? Bright spot here for the special teams, Eddie Pinheiro. He's the future at kicker. I want him here a long, long time. I don't care if you have to franchise tag him. I don't care if you have to give him an 8-year deal. Keep Eddie Pinheiro around. He's one of the priority free agents heading into this offseason, and we'll talk about that later in the week. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but Eddie Pinheiro, absolutely a major reason the 49ers were so successful this season, and you cannot let him leave. You just can't. Now, the offense, not a great grade as well. I'm going to give the offense a D. Although I thought Purdy honestly was pretty decent, right? It was kind of the same as week 18. He's a good quarterback, but the Seahawks defense had an answer for everything that the 49ers tried to do. The offensive line got worked. The run game was terrible again. Jake Tonjes fumbles on the second drive of the game. Receivers were complete non-factors. It was just not good. It was not a good day from the offense whatsoever. We saw Jordan James get his first carry of his career. That was nice. But that should tell you all you need to know about this game. We got Jordan James touches in this one. Not a great day for the 49ers offense. Although I'm excited to see Jordan James going forward. But of course, the bright spot, I already mentioned him, it's Brock Purdy, right? Although the numbers didn't match it in this game and they didn't always match it this season, I thought Purdy finished the year playing some pretty darn good football. I'm more confident in him as the starter than I ever have been before. It's clear he's the guy, and he's the guy we need to be building around. Thank goodness the Niners kept him around on that contract extension. Now, let's get a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog. Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the gridiron action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. Get them right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the AFC Championship between the Patriots and the Broncos. Should be a pretty interesting game. I'm going to pick RJ Harvey to go higher than 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns, and Drake May for lower than 0.5 interceptions, despite playing against that talented Denver defense. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8 or text from 467-369.
And now let's get on to the defense grade. Guess what? It's not good, right? I mean, we all watched the game. We know. Defense, I'm giving them an F. Just no real shot. This, I think, was the big issue. Yeah, it was the offense that really struggled to put anything up on the board, and that's a big part of it. But I felt like it really started to fall apart once the defense was falling apart. They were kind of the last thread of hope. They had a couple of decent stops in this game, but the Seahawks, once again, they were bullied every single drive. Even if it wasn't every single play, it was every single drive. Niners could not stop the Seahawks run game. Now, Seattle probably going to lose offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Running back Kenneth Walker is a free agent. But this is a big issue heading into the offseason, is dealing with Seattle, dealing with this run game in particular. That was the catalyst for both of their wins against San Francisco this season. It's easily the most worrying thing to come out of this game is Seahawks run game. Massive advantage over the 49ers at this point, and the Niners really need to commit to stopping that next season. Niners had nothing for the Seahawks run defense for the second time in 3 weeks, but they also couldn't cover on key downs like 2nd and 20 or 3rd and 10, and once again, it was too many missed tackles. Not enough toughness from this 49ers team, really on either side of the ball, but on defense especially. Darrell Luter came in a couple of times in this game. He came in once for Renardo Green, and then later I saw him come in for Lenore. Luter is just not a guy who can play any sort of defensive snaps for a playoff team. He just isn't that caliber player. I don't care if you play Saron Neal. I don't care if you put Upton Stout on the outside and put Chase Lucas in the nickel. I don't care if you put Jason Pinnock out there at outside corner. It can't be Darrell Luter. He is the worst coverage player on this roster. He was terrible in this game, and he played like 10 snaps. It's ridiculous. He gave up a 3rd and 10 to Jake Bobo in man coverage. Jake Bobo, by the way, ran a 4.9 second 40-yard dash. That is slow. That is slow for an NFL player, and Luter got absolutely torched. However, bright spot in this game for the defense, CJ West, man, had a big sack on Darnold. He's starting to play better and better football. He really showed up on that sack. They caused Seattle to settle for 3. It's a high-impact play. game was basically over by that point, but it was still a really good play. And I think that West has lapped Alfred Collins at this point. Collins has not really shown me a ton the last couple of weeks, whereas West is starting to flash more and more consistently. I think West is the best defensive tackle on this roster, and he should be a day one starter next year. Now, let's wrap it up here. It sucks, right? This hurts. We can all admit it, right? Being beat that bad and just giving up so many points, and it was just to a division rival. It was painful. It was painful, right? It was not fun. But this Niners team gave us plenty to be proud of this season. We've got about 2 months to repair our bruised egos and our broken hearts. And then we'll be into the depths of free agency and the draft and trades and offseason plans and all this really fun stuff. The season is, what we wait for, right? The season is why we love this sport, but the offseason has a lot to offer, and I'm really excited to really dive in and develop some plans for how the 49ers should attack this offseason. But before we go, just wanted to bring up some of my favorite memories from this season. Mac Jones taking down the LA Rams in their building, Week 5, Thursday Night Football, when nobody, and I mean nobody, believed in us. I loved Eddie Piñeiro's game-winning field goal against the Cardinals, the Brock Purdy Dougie against Cleveland. That whole Chicago Bears game was amazing. There were some really great moments in the Atlanta game. Tatum Bethune had a great game. The D. Winters pick six against the Colts and Phillip Rivers. There were a lot of really, really great moments from this season, and I urge you, 49ers fans who are feeling down, go back and watch some of the highlights of those games. Relive those moments because they were awesome, and I encourage you to not shy away from that fact. No, it didn't end the way we wanted it to. Kind of ended the way we expected it to, though, and you can always enjoy the rest of this season, right? There was plenty of good from this year, and hopefully there will be even more next year. So that is all, folks, for this episode and this season of 49ers football. Is everyone okay? How you guys holding up over there? How are you taking the loss? And what did you think of this season as a whole? Let me know down below in the comments. We've got a very long offseason ahead of us, that's for sure. But we're going to jump right in as early as this week because there is plenty to talk about. Free agency, the draft, the coaching carousel, you name it, we'll cover it. So, of course, leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know if there's any topics that you'd like to see me cover. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe for 49ers videos 5 days a week. I'm Brady Grustas, at Grustas Brady on X. This has been Niners Now, and I'll see you tomorrow.